Welcome to the video tutorial for Loops and Ridges, a unisex beanie that's made with pretty basic crochet stitches. Today I'm using 3 colors of yarn, but feel free to use just one. Either way, it'll look fantastic. For the crown and body, I'm using a 6.0 hook, and for the brim, I'll drop down to a 5.5. But I'm a tight crocheter, so I strongly suggest that you use the hook size recommended by the yarn that you're using. Let's begin. To start, we're going to have a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to chain 5. So that's 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 chains. We're going to go into this first chain with our hook, grab our yarn, pull it through, make a slip stitch to join. Now, we're not going to be working in this top loop right there. We're going to be working in this loop. And to begin this row and every row, we will do a chain 1. And to begin, we're going to work 10 double crochets into that bottom loop. Now the first one's kind of wonky, but the loop gets more defined as you go along. There it is. So we're just going to place 10 double crochets into this loop that we made by our chain 5. Now, if you prefer to use a magic circle, and I know a lot of you do, feel free to go ahead and do that and just pick up with us on the next row. I just prefer using the chain 5. Also, I'm not going to show you every stitch of every row because that would make a very long video. But since this first one just has 10, I thought I would work them right along with you. So we're working 10 double crochets into the loop we made with our chain 5. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, just a couple more. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Grab your yarn, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, last one. And there we have our 10 double crochets. You can pull this tail and make it tight a little bit if you want. So we'll start each row with the chain 1. We'll end each row with a slip stitch. So let's go ahead and do a slip stitch through this first double crochet to join our round. There we go. And there's our 10 double crochet. All right, I'll see you for the next row. So for round 1, we'll start with our chain 1, and then in this row, we're going to place 2 double crochets in each stitch around. So here's our first double crochet, and then we're going to go right back in the same stitch and place a second double crochet. So here's the second. So we have 2 double crochets in this same stitch. Let's do it one more time. So the second stitch, we place 1 double crochet, then we go right back into the same stitch and do a second double crochet. There's the second. So we have 2 double crochets in each stitch. And we'll repeat this all the way around each stitch with 2 double crochets. And I'll pick you back up down here. So we're at the end of row 1 where we've placed 2 double crochets in each stitch, and I am on my last stitch of 2 double crochets. So there's 19 and the last stitch is 20. All right, here's our 20 double crochets. As always, we're going to slip stitch to join in that very first double crochet, pull it through, slip stitch, and there's our 20 double crochets. On to round 2. So for row 2, this is an increase row, but we'll start as always with our chain 1. And to start with, we will place 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then we'll place 2 double crochets in the second stitch. So there's 1 and then right back in that same stitch we place a second double crochet. There's 2. So we have 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 2 in the second stitch. Let's do it one more time. So 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the following stitch. There's 1 and 2 in that same stitch. And we'll repeat this all the way around. 1 double crochet, 2, 1 double crochet, 2, all the way around. And I'll pick you up near the end to see how you're doing. So we're at the end of row 2, and I'm working in my last 2 stitches. So here's 28, and then I'll place 29 and 30 in this last stitch. So there's 29 and 30. Okay, it's the end of row 2. Now we're going to be changing colors if you're following along with the color change. If not, go ahead and slip stitch to join. And I'll see you for the next row. On row 3, I've changed colors, and this is color number 2. If you're using one color, that's absolutely fine, but I've changed to my color 2. And in this row, we're going to be working front and back post half double crochets. So these are the post here. We'll be working in those and not the stitch. So we'll start with this post right under our chain with the front post half double crochet. Stick your hook under the post, pull up your yarn, and finish off like a regular half double crochet. So for the back, you start from the back of your work up and around your post, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then finish off your half double crochet. So let's do it again. It's just kind of in reverse. So front post half double crochet, you go under your post from the front, pull it through, work your half double crochet. For the back post, you go in from the back of your work up and around your post, grab your yarn, pull it up, and pull it through for your half double crochet. We'll be working this all the way around. Front post, back post, front post, back post, half double crochet. So finish that all the way around, and I'll pick you up here to see how it looks. So we're at the end of row 3, working our front and back post half double crochets. So my last 2 stitches, this one's a front post half double crochet, and my last stitch, which is number 30, is a back post half double crochet. All right, there's our 30 stitches for row 3. As always, we'll slip stitch to join in this first stitch here, and we're on to row 4. So on row 4, we're going to do a row of increase, but not necessarily in the traditional way. We're going to start with our chain 1, and we're going to continue working with our front and back post half double crochets like we did the previous row. So we'll go ahead and work our front post half double crochet right on top of the one from the previous row. But you'll see we worked in the post and not in the stitch necessarily. There's the stitch. So we're going to place a half double crochet in the stitch right next to that front post half double crochet. So we have the front post half double crochet and then a half double crochet in the stitch beside it. So this next then is the back post half double crochet like before. And again, we worked around the post but not the stitch. So let's place a half double crochet in that stitch right next to our back post. Okay, just a regular half double crochet. So we have 2 stitches in each row, in each stitch. The front or back post and then the half double crochet. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. We're increasing our stitch count by 2 on this row. But do the front post and then the half and then the back post and then the half next to that all the way around. I'll pick you up somewhere around here and see how you're doing. We're at the end of row 4, working our final set of the front and back post half double crochets. So here's my last front post half double crochet, and then the half double crochet next to that, and then here's the last back post half double crochet, and we're going to have to squeeze a half double crochet into this little stitch right here. Okay, it's our last half double crochet. So there's the end of row 4. If you're following along with me and doing a color change, we'll be changing to our color number 3 now. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join. So we're starting row 5, and I've changed colors to color 3, which for me is a nice granite gray. We'll start with our chain stitch, and in this row we're getting a little bit of a break because we're placing one half double crochet in each stitch around. So every stitch a half double crochet all the way around. You'll have 58 stitches at the end of this row, same as last row, and I will check with you down here. So at the end of row 5, where we've put a half double crochet in each stitch around, and let's see, that was 55, 56, 57, and 58. So we have 58 stitches in this row, like the last one. There's our 58 stitches. And we'll slip stitch to join in this first half double crochet. And there's row 5. I'll see you for row 6. So for row 6, we're going to start with our chain 1. And in this row, we're working with the half double crochet third loop. And the third loop is found if you pull your work towards you a little bit. You see this extra loop there. That's the third loop. We're going to be working in that. Not this front stitch, but the third loop right there. So I find it really hard to do it in the first stitch, so I cheat a little bit and place my first half double crochet just in the back loop. It's just the way I do it. Doesn't make any difference at all. But starting in the second stitch, there's that third loop. Put your hook through, pull your yarn through it, and just work your half double crochet. If you just pull your work towards you, there's the regular stitch. Pull it towards you, you can see that third loop. Put your hook through it, pull your yarn through, and just work your regular half double crochet. And we're going to be working this stitch all the way around, 58 stitches. And I truly love this stitch because it creates this really nice ridge that goes all the way around your work. It's probably my favorite stitch. Anyway, work this stitch all the way around, 58 stitches, and I will join you near the end of this row, and we'll finish off row 6. So we're at the end of row 6, where we're working our half double crochet in the third loop, and I'm on my last couple of stitches. Here's 57 and 58. It's our last stitch of the row. Now we're going to be changing colors back to color 1 if you're following my color changes. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join right there. So this is what a half double crochet third loop creates, this nice ridge. Gives it such a great piece of texture. I just love it. Here's loops, here's ridges, and that's how the hat got its name. So I'll see you back for row 7. We're on row 7. We've changed back to our color number 1 for those of you changing colors. We'll start with our chain 1, and this is an increase row. We're going to do 1 double crochet in the first 4 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 double crochet in the first 4 stitches, and then in the 5th stitch we'll work 2 double crochets. So there's 1, and then we go right back in that same stitch and put a 2nd double crochet in our 5th stitch. So we'll have 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 double crochets in the 5th stitch. We'll work that all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. Work that all the way around. At the end of this row, we'll have 68 stitches, and I'll pick you up down here and check your progress. Okay, we're at the end of row 7, and let's see, I'm on 65. And I'll place a second one in 66, and then my last 2 stitches, 67 and 68, will be 1 double crochet. Now if you're coming out with a different stitch count, it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to make any difference in the pattern. I seem to keep coming out with a different stitch count each time I do this row, but this time I got 68, so we're going to go with that. So we'll go ahead and slip stitch to join, because we're going to keep this color for 1 more row. Slip stitch to join, and there's the end of row 7. I'll see you for row 8. Here we are on row 8. We'll start with our chain 1, and on this row we're simply going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So easy, easy, easy. 1 double crochet each stitch around. We should have 68 stitches at the end of this row, and I will pick you up over here to see how you're doing. Okay, we're at the end of row 8, where we've placed 1 double crochet in each stitch around. This is 67, and the last double crochet is 68. Now we're changing colors at the end of this row if you're following my color changes. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join. All right, let's move to row 9. Okay, we're on row 9. We've changed colors to white. We'll start with our chain 1. In this row, we're going to be working the front and back post half double crochets again. So the first one will be a front post half double crochet. Just go in front of that post, pull it through, work your half double crochet. Next stitch, you work from the back of your work around that post, grab your yarn, pull it up, finish off your half double crochet. We're going to be doing this in each stitch around, and actually for the next 2 rows we'll be using this exact same repeat. Front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, all the way around for rows 9 and 10. You still should have 68 stitches at the end, and I will pick you up over here at the end of row 10 to see how it's going. We're at the end of row 10, which is our second row of the front and back post half double crochets. I'm on my last couple of stitches. 67 is a front post half double crochet, and 68 is a back post half double crochet. Okay, we are starting to take shape here. Looking good. All right, we will be switching colors at the end of this row if you're following along my color changes. If not, go ahead and slip stitch to join. And I'll see you back for row 11. Okay, we're on row 11. We've switched to our color 3. and we will start as always with our chain 1. On this row, simple row, we're going to be working a half double crochet in each stitch around. So 1 half double crochet each stitch around. At the end of the row, we'll have 68 stitches. So repeat this all the way around, and I'll pick you up over here and see how it looks. Okay, we're at the end of row 11, where we've done 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. I'm on 67, and my last stitch is 68. All right, we're keeping this color for the next row, so go ahead and slip stitch to join, and I'll see you for row 12. Okay, we're on row 12. We'll start with our chain 1. And in this row, we're working once again with the half double crochet third loop. And as I mentioned before, I have a hard time with that first stitch, so I place it in the back loop of the first stitch and work my half double crochet. But from the second stitch around, I will go into this third loop, pull it through, finish off your half double crochet. So we'll be working the half double crochet in that third loop all the way around, 68 stitches in this row as well, and I will pick you up over here. Okay, we're at the end of row 12, where we're working a half double crochet third loop in each stitch around. I'm on my last couple of stitches. Here's 68. And we can see this beautiful ridge that stitch makes. I just love it. Now we're changing colors at the end of this row if you're following along with my color change. If not, go ahead and slip stitch to join, and I'll pick you up for the next row. Okay, we're at the beginning of row 13. We've changed back to color 1. Start with our chain 1. So for this row and the next row, we're going to be working 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So for rows 13 and row 14, we're going to have 1 double crochet each stitch around. Should have around 68 stitches in each row, and that's for the next 2 rows. So 1 double crochet each stitch around. I'll pick you up here at the end of row 14 and see how it looks. We're at the end of row 14. We've had 2 rows of a double crochet in each stitch around, and I am on 67 and 68. So that's the end of row 14. We're going to be changing colors if you're following along with my color change. If not, go ahead and slip stitch to join, and I'll pick you up for row 15. We're on row 15. We've changed to color 2. We'll go ahead and do our chain 1. And on this row and the next row, we're going to be working with our front and back post half double crochet stitch again. So we'll be alternating front post half double crochet and back post half double crochet for the next 2 rows. So our first stitch is the front post half double crochet. You go under that post, pull it through, half double crochet. Then the back post half double crochet, you go in the back of your work around that post, pull it up, pull it through. So we're repeating this all the way around for the next 2 rows, front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around for the next 2 rows. And I'll pick you up here at the end of row 16 and see how it looks. We're at the end of row 16, where we've had 2 rows of the front post half double crochet and back post half double crochet. So I'm on my last 2 stitches. 67 is a front post half double crochet, and 68 is a back post half double crochet. Okay, we will be switching colors at the end of this row if you're following along with my color changes. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join in the top of that first front post half double crochet. And we'll start row 17. Okay, we're on 17 and we've changed to our color number 3. We'll start with our chain 1, and on this row, it's an easy row, we're simply putting a half double crochet in each stitch around. So super simple row. We'll work one half double crochet in each stitch around. At the end of this row, we'll once again have 68 stitches. We'll repeat this all the way around, and we'll join you back near the end. Okay, we're at the end of row 17 where we've been working one half double crochet in each stitch around. I'm on the last couple of stitches. This is 68, a half double crochet. Okay, we're going to maintain our color, so we slip stitch to join, and it's looking great. I'll see you for the next row. We're on row 18. We'll do our chain 1, and on this row we're going back to the half double crochet third loop only. So you place your hook through that third loop, pull it up, finish your half double crochet third loop, and we will place this stitch 1 in every stitch around, 68 stitches, and I'll see you back over here. We're at the end of row 18 where we're using the half double crochet third loop only stitch, and I'm at the end of my row. Here's my last stitch. Okay, we're going to be changing colors again. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join. And here's this beautiful ridge this stitch makes again. I just love it. I think it adds such a nice textural detail. All right, I'll see you for the next row. We're on row 19. We've changed back to our color 1. Start with our chain stitch. Okay, so for this row, we will place 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So actually for this row and the next row, each stitch will have 1 double crochet. You'll repeat it all the way around, 68 stitches, and it'll be for 2 rows. So I'll meet you back over here at the end of row 20. We're at the end of row 20. We've had 2 rows of 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So I'm at the end of row 20. This is 66, 67, and my last double crochet will be 68. Okay. We will be changing colors at the end of this row if you're following my color change. If you're using one color, go ahead and slip stitch to join. The great news is we just have 1 row to go before we start working on our brim. So I'll see you back for row 21. So for row 21, we've changed to color 2. We'll do a chain 1. And on this row, super simple, we're simply going to do a single crochet in each stitch around. Now this is our last row before we do our brim, so I wanted to do just this stitch all the way around to sort of anchor the hat to the brim. So single crochet each stitch around. I'll meet you back at the end and we'll finish it off. We are at the end of our final row of the hat, working a single crochet into each stitch around. So this is 67, and last stitch of the hat is 68. Now go ahead and slip stitch to join, because we're going to be continuing on with this color for our brim, but make sure you don't cut your yarn or end it in any way, because we will be building the brim out from here. So when we come back, we'll talk about brims. I wanted to show you the brim on this completed hat that I've already finished. It's the single crochet back loop only brim, and it's built out from the edge of your hat. I'm showing you this because I know that brims are a kind of a personal choice. There's actually a discussion on one of my Facebook groups right now about which brim do you prefer. But I do love how this looks. It gives you this nice ridged effect. It's also super stretchy, but it does take a little while to complete. But I think it completes this hat really nicely. So this is the one we're going to go with in this tutorial. And I will try my best to get the closest and clearest pictures I can to show you how to start and how to continue. Once you get the hang of it, it's really super simple. If you do prefer your own brim, because I know everyone does have their favorites, please feel free to go ahead and do that. But we're going to use the single crochet back loop only brim that gives you this beautiful ridged effect. So we're beginning our brim with a smaller hook. I went down a half a hook size. You just do that for this type of brim for some reason. And we're starting off where we left off when we joined a slip stitch to join on the last row. So here we're just going to start our brim with a chain 8 straight up from the edge of the hat. And I will just apologize on how odd this looks with my hands all in the way. I'm working in a very small spot around a camera, so pardon the weirdness. There's the 8 chains, and what we will do is take our hook, insert it into the second chain from the hook, and we're going to be working 7 single crochets back down to the edge of the hat. So work 1 single crochet in each chain on the way back down to the edge of your hat. Oops. And the chains always, no matter how loose you make them, they always seem to tighten up when you need to use them. So it looks really awkward at first, and it is very awkward, especially if you have long fingers like I do. But believe me, it gets easier and it will be worth it. Oops. All right, so we're working a single crochet in the 7 chains back down to the edge of our hat. Here's our last one. Okay. So we started in this stitch here. So we want to go to the stitch next to that one, insert our hook, insert a hook, and slip stitch into that. And we'll do it to the next stitch as well. So each row will be slip stitching into 2 stitches on the edge to anchor our brim to the hat. So that's the first little row. So you always start with the chain 1. We'll turn our work. And here's where we start with our single crochet back loop only. So you insert your hook in the back loop only and do a single crochet. We'll do that for the first 6 stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, get in there, 5, and 6. And for the last stitch, each time on the very end, we'll work a regular single crochet through the normal stitch through both of the front and back loop, not just the back loop. So just on the very end stitch, we'll do a regular single crochet. That didn't exactly look right, but whatever. Then we chain 1, turn our work. Still on that end, we'll do a regular single crochet. It just makes the ends look neater. Then we'll work our way back down the next 6 stitches with the single crochet back loop only again. And I know this sounds kind of confusing. I'll have the written instructions here for you right after this video clip. But basically, we work 6 single crochets up with 1 regular single crochet, chain 1 turn, 6 single crochets back loop back down. So it's a total of 7 up and down. Let's see. Okay, 5, 6, or was that 7? That must have been 7. Okay, and then we slip stitch into the next 2 stitches to anchor us to the brim. Chain 1, turn your work, and then you start working your way back up. It's already starting to have a little ridge effect. These first, I won't lie, these first couple of rows are killer, but it'll be worth it once you get going. So let's continue this all the way around, and I will pick you up near the end to show you how to join the 2 edges and finish off our hat. Okay, I'm about 1/3 of the way through, and I wanted to show you my work to give you another visual because the beginning is so awkward trying to show you what to do. So I'm slip stitching into those next 2 stitches on the edge of our hat. You chain 1, you turn your work, and you single crochet back loop only, working back up this row. And you do that in the first 6 stitches. So now it's gotten a little easier to hold, a little easier to manage. It's not quite so awkward. This brim is a lot of work, but it is so beautiful when you're done, and it's so worth it. So that's, let's see, 5 and 6, single crochet back loop only. I'm here at the end. So I do a regular single crochet in the end, chain 1, turn your work, and work your way back down with a regular single crochet here in the end each time. It just makes for a more even border on the edge. And then we'll do our 6 single crochet back loop only all the way back down. So that's 2, actually 3, counting that end one, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Sometimes that last one is a little hard to get into. 7. And then once again, we slip stitch into those next 2 stitches, not the one that you're currently working in, but the 2 next to that. Anchoring this brim to the hat, chain 1, turn your work, and keep going. All right, I will see you at the end to show you how we join it. It's looking good. Okay, we're here at the last of our brim, and I'm going to slip stitch into these last 2 stitches. 1 slip stitch, and here's here is the second. Okay, chain 1. This is our final row of the brim. Hooray! And we're going to do our 6 single crochet back loop only stitches. Working all the way up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're doing our regular single crochet into the end. Chain 1, turn our work, go our final way down. So regular single crochet in the end, and then our final 6 single crochets back loop only. So 3, 4, 5, almost there, 6, and oh my gosh, 7. Okay, now we need to turn our work. Okay, so we've turned our work. Here's the 2 edges of the brim, and hold them tightly together, and we're going to just simply go through each of the 7 stitches and slip stitch it together. Now if you prefer to just go ahead and cut your yarn and use a darning needle to sew these together, that's absolutely fine. I just go ahead and use the slip stitch method while my yarn is still on my hook. So hold those ends together to make sure it comes out even. I think that's 6 and 7. We're done. Tie that thing off. Okay, here is the finished hat. What do you think? I think it is just an absolutely adorable hat full of nice texture and colors. Here it is on my little model's head. You can really see the texture when it's put on like this. I sure hope you enjoyed this video tutorial as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more from me, hit that subscribe button, and I hope I see you back again soon.